Hey guys, Michael B. the Game Genie back with another Top 3 Tuesday. First thing I want to do, like I do every week, is thank the people who made video responses to the last video. They were Lactobacillus Prime, Mark, thank you very much. Electric Adventures, Tony, thank you very much. The Gamester 90, Back in the Day Gamer, Captain Frugal, Ness Some Simpson, Gary James. Gary, it's good to see you again. I love that you're back making videos. Crow. I beat Mad Max Crow. I didn't do all the side questing. I know. And last but not least, Weekend Game Guy, who's in the middle of his 17th house move in the last 40 days. I think so, or something like that. Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks everybody for making the video responses. So this week's topic is a little convoluted, but let me explain it to you. So I'm working on another project. I'm recording gameplay footage for Game Boy games for some reason. And I can't help but think how many cool games are on the Game Boy that are actually standalone games in these great classic game series. And of course, you put two and two together. I do a series called Top 3 Tuesday based on Ed's videos, and I'm working on this other video, and it seemed like a perfect match. So this week, we're going to be doing top 3 games, let me go back. Top 3 Game Boy games that are standalone entries in classic video game series. Yeah, see what I mean, convoluted? I usually like to stick to top 3 Atari 2600 games, but this one's a little weird. Anyways, so these are top 3 Game Boy games that are standalone entries in classic game series. So first up, of course, comes from one of my favorite game series of all time, and one of the hardest.
I'm a big fan of Contra. I'm the absolute drizzling shits at it, but I still love the series. From its awesome music to its responsive gameplay mechanics, and at times, mind-numbing difficulty, Contra games are a staple for hardcore gamers, and that is why it's so cool to see a standalone entry on the Game Boy. Portable Contra back in the early 1990s, who wouldn't say, sign me up? Operation C is a true sequel to Super C on the NES, using the same formula as its NES counterpart as it shifts from side-scrolling to top-down. It has a great Game Boy rendition of the original Contra jungle theme that makes you feel right at home as you start to blast your way through the enemy hordes. A great new introduction in the series came in the game as the homing shot was introduced, taking over from the spread shot as arguably Contra's greatest weapon. I wasn't introduced to Operation C until I was an adult, and can't help but think how much I missed out on owning this as a kid when portable gaming was a dream come true. Well, maybe it would have just been portable frustration to child Mike, but adult Mike loves it.
Yeah, Operation C is a great game, and when I really got into Contra a couple years back, I had to go out and get a copy of it, so there it is. The second one is also going to be a little bit interesting, a little bit out there, but
okay, so this one is kind of a cheat, as this wasn't originally intended to be a Ninja Gaiden game, but a sequel to one of my favorite NES games, Shadow the Ninja. But due to the poor sales of Shadow the Ninja, it was quickly rebranded as a sequel to Ninja Gaiden, and we were lucky it was, because it's one of the coolest games on the Game Boy. Ninja Gaiden Shadow brings us a portable version of Ryu Hayabusa that blends the traditional Ninja Gaiden format with the also great Shadow the Ninja gameplay and music to give us one of the best entries in the series, and a true hidden gem, not just on the Game Boy, but in gaming in general. For its limitations, it's amazing what this game brings to the table in terms of its presentation, gameplay, and overall fun factor, and a game that is often forgotten when speaking of the fabled Ninja Gaiden series. If you are a Ninja Gaiden fan, or enjoy Shadow the Ninja, this game is a can't miss, and I strongly urge anyone who hasn't already, get to playing it immediately.
And last but not least, here I am doing standalone entries for the Game Boy of classic video game series, and I haven't mentioned Nintendo yet. Keyword is yet, because here's number 1.
Coming off the heels of arguably the best game in the series, and in case I haven't mentioned it 1,000 times already, my favorite game of all time, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, the next entry in the series had some mighty big shoes to fill. And then Link's Awakening was announced for the Game Boy, and I thought that there was no way they could recreate the magic of the Super Nintendo on the little green screen machine. But then, right from the amazing opening cinema scene, I knew I was wrong, and I was in for something special. A true oddity in the Zelda series, as it's kinda a direct sequel to A Link to the Past, that actually doesn't happen in Hyrule, but in a weird dream world, and instead of collecting pieces of the Triforce, for the first time you were collecting musical instruments in order to awaken the Windfish. The game's presentation was great, as it used huge sprites and made all the characters look and feel like they did on the Super Nintendo. The music is great, and next to collecting the Master Sword in A Link to the Past, getting the sword on the beach in this game, and then the classic Zelda theme starting may be my second favorite moment in the series. There are a lot of elements introduced in this game that I really like, such as the ability to actually block with your shield as an equipped item, and then there are other choices such as jumping using the rock feather that I felt didn't really fit into a Zelda game. Also see the side-scrolling areas of the dungeons. These were just minor issues, and the game came together to create probably one of the most memorable entries in the series, and most importantly, a portable one that ate up more batteries than I could even fathom.
So guys, those are my top 3 games for the Game Boy that are standalone entries in classic video game series. So, like I do every time, what I want you guys to do is tell me what your top 3 games for the Game Boy that are standalone entries in classic video game series is. I gotta figure out a way to shorten that. And you can do that by obviously leaving a comment down below, but what I'd like for you to do in the top 3 Tuesday traditional fashion is to make a video response. So what I want you to do is record yourself giving your top 3, well, you know what I mean, your top 3 games for the Game Boy that are standalone entries in classic video game series. And you can get it to me by leaving it as a comment to this video or reaching out to me over social media and letting me know. And of course, like I do every single week, I put all the video responses up on my Facebook page. So if you want to see the responses to last week's video, like a top 3 Atari 2600 games, go check my Facebook page. All the videos are listed there as separate posts I put up myself. So yeah, guys, I can't wait to see your responses. I'm not super familiar with the Game Boy either. Like, I know what I know, but it's cool to go back and look at some of the games that I didn't even know about. So I'd love to see your responses and learn about some great Game Boy games that I haven't played yet. So guys, thank you very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next week. And yeah, I've got a new cat and he decided to pee on my green screen. So I'm gonna go wash that now. Talk to you later.